Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and wow, what a day of action in the Valorant world. Sentinels back in action for the first time in a very long time in official capacity in the North American VCT. A fantastic matchup against NRG. Very interesting Twitter drama hitting the timeline as a result of this series. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Great support over these last several days. And let's just dive straight on into the matches from last night. Firstly, in the EMEA side, two great games over there. FPX, of course, this is Angel, a very nice 1v2 he clutches right here, and an incredibly crucial one at that, because FPX had a nice little comeback here on the defensive side on split, and really outplays the first guy, pops the defuse, gets the second kill as well. Very nicely done, especially because he was tested positive a few days ago, felt a bit under the weather, and now he's coming back and doing this in the series. Very important stuff for them. They go on to win this series 2-1, especially that final map comeback was pretty impressive on the split, win all these defensive rounds in a row, big win a couple, of course God be on the other side as well. But Fun plus Phoenix closed it out just in the end on the 24th round of the game, and win the entire series. So impressive stuff. Fun plus Phoenix 2-1 over Big. The second series, arguably more interesting, was Ascend versus SMB, Supermassive Blaze, and it was kind of interesting because game one was, SMB went up to a pretty big advantage. Ascend really had to bounce back. They take it to overtime in the end. cNed made some nice plays. Very entertaining guy, of course, to watch as per usual. Look, they're the world champions, right? They won champions back in December now, but still, obviously, a team like this, who knows, right? Sometimes you win the world championship, get a bit complacent, your practice isn't quite as good as maybe it could have been. But cNed with some nice plays to tie up the game, and then they go into the final map here on Bind and just completely dominate, right? So yes, it was a close fought affair early on. They win the first game 14-12. They then come out and just completely swing it on this one, and Stuxo with some very nice plays right here. So yes, 2-0 at the end, as I suppose expected. Number one ranked team, I guess, still in the world right now, and cNed showing exactly why he's considered to be pretty much the best player in the game. 48 in 27 plus 21. Of course, we talked about guys like Chronicle yesterday, right? Definitely doing good things for the for the Gambit guys. And in North America, there's a big question mark as to who's the best player in that region, right? So here we go. Sentinels back in action for, the first time in a very long time. It just feels so long since these guys have played, right? Because all these top organizations, they haven't really had to go through the qualifiers because they got the bye straight to Challengers. So this is pretty much their first time playing. Of course, the meme is from guys like Zombs that they don't even practice. But look, these guys do practice. They might, obviously, there is talk about the state of the practice, right? And whether it's the best, and whether they're gaining quite as much from the practice as some of the European teams do. But at the same time, look, they're still putting in work. They're still practicing. It's not, it is controlling to some degree from Zombs. They don't practice at all in ShahZaM. Obviously, look, they do scrim and stuff like this. They still want to be a good team. But it is kind of interesting, right? The Sentinels, when the game first came out, this time last year, was such a dominant force in the game. And, maybe it's kind of time for their reign to end to some degree. Certainly did at the end of last year. Whether that will happen in North America as well this season, that remains to be seen. Because this series was far from easy for them. I feel like, honestly, NRG maybe should have come away with this in the end of the day. They were up 1-0. They had a pretty decisive advantage. Game one here on Fracture, of course, look, this is the first time Sentinels has played in a very long time. NRG, of course, had a very nice time of things in the qualifier. They go through very comfortably, so they've had some good experiences of late, whereas Sentinels really haven't been doing all that much, at least in terms of an official competitive Valorant capacity. 8-3 it was right here. They close out this game well as well pretty comfortably. So yes, NRG at 1-0 very quickly indeed, and all of a sudden it felt like, okay, Sentinels, are they going to come to play today? Feels like the upset that a lot of people predicted may well be coming through. But ShahZaM and TenZ especially decided that's not going to be the case. This was an incredibly important clutch here, because NRG up 7-5 going into the second half. And ShahZaM with a 1v2 on the pistol, 6 HP on the board, gets the first kill, picks up the second as well with the shock dart. Just really important play here from ShahZaM. If he doesn't win this one, then things could be very different indeed. But important rounds. They win this one. They go on to close out the game. And then the final game was incredibly comfortable. At least, it was incredibly comfortable for a time. Because Sentinels, this is a ridiculous play here from TenZ. He really feels like, TenZ obviously we know is a phenomenal player. It's just the thing with TenZ, okay, in big pressure moments, does he play quite as well as this? You could argue maybe not, right? But just some disgusting shots from him once again. Got up 5-0, and it didn't end there, to be honest. They go 9-1 and then 10-1 up in this map here, and you really feel like, okay, there's no way they could possibly let this go. Sick, as you can see right here, gets a very nice ace to actually go up 10-1. And you're like, okay, it's all over. Unlucky NRG. Nice try, great play, map 1, map 2 for a time. But Sentinels, they finally warm up. They're going to come to play. Now, in fairness, closing out this series was far from easy for the Sentinels guys. They let a lot of rounds slip away from them on the defensive side when NRG went over to that front and Sentinels were on the attack. And the comeback almost was complete, right? That's the thing. Sentinels can be a team that does that to happen sometimes, as Vanity says. Sentinels plays to entertain us. I've seen them let teams do the fake comeback hundreds of times. They finally closed out. One of the stories of the series was that there were so many eco rounds, right? So many thrifty rounds rounds that NRG would win out of nowhere and kind of and Sentinels would kind of throw away. But at the final round, the Sentinels wins. They're basically on a thrifty themselves. They've got Deagles, Sheriffs, this type of stuff, Spectres, all the standard jazz, and well, they managed to get the job done in the end. Very close fought affair, but as Hayes says, embarrassing. 2-1 over Sentinels. He wasn't happy about their performance towards the end of the series. They felt like they kind of threw away that map, right? Because the caliber and the potential on this roster is certainly there. But what, they lose the series in the end. Sentinels definitely clutched up, and as TenZ says, won against NRG 2-1. GG to them. Slow start, but nice to finally be able to play official matches again. Need to get my match confidence back, because it's definitely been a hot minute, and I noticed myself overthinking and outplaying myself in stupid ways. But statistically, he was a monster this series. We'll have a look at here in a second. Now, this is what Zombs has to say, right? This is where things going to get a bit spicy on the timeline. Won first match of VCT versus NRG 2-1 without any practice, right? So, of course, we know this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, like maybe, okay, the practice might not be the greatest, they might not be practicing as much as some other teams, but of course they do some degree of practice, right? They are a professional team. They're not just going to go and actually just sit there and do nothing at all and then still come in here and win a game against a solid team like NRG. Now, Lucas Rojo wasn't just going to sit this line down. He's now the coach for Movistar Riders. I think he might have been part of G2 before, but still, he tweets this out. Being proud of this is actually a bit of a meme. In other words, you go to the league after having made a fool of yourself in 2 international games, I suppose, international lanes. You haven't trained for 2 months. You arrive at the game and win because TenZ is a god, and you say, we won without training or whatever. I don't know, love yourself at least. So, of course, I'm not sure the translation here is perfect, but I'm kind of calling out Zombs here for making fun of the fact they're not doing all that much practice. But, still, people weren't going to take this one lying down, because even Zombs comes back in the reply and says, try qualifying for something, brother, and he drops the sarcasm, right? So, of course, Zombs admits he's being sarcastic here about the practice fronts, but saying, look, who's this Lucas Rojo guy to talk? Because, what have you actually qualified for, right? At least we're here in Challengers, because and even dapr from the same team says a very similar thing. Nothing more embarrassing than this big dog when I guess losing to Rick's GG Thunder or whatever in the Challengers qualifier when they failed to qualify for it. And different mindsets then. Good luck in future matches, he says. Yeah, these guys were definitely firing some shots back on the timeline. And ShahZaM had some thoughts as well on the situation, because the pressure's always on these guys to perform and show up in the big moments. And as ShahZaM actually says in this article right here, we're here to still remind people we are the top dogs, right? And this is the tweet from Zombs that was pointed out. They just about close out this game in obviously a pretty clutch factor. We'll look at the final series stats here in just a couple of seconds. But certainly a target on the max. We're here to remind people we're still the top dogs, right? So we'll see how that goes for ShahZaM and the Sentinels guys, because right now, okay, Cloud9, when they beat 100 Thieves a couple of days ago, a lot of people would consider Cloud9 Blue right now best team in North America. Sentinels still, I think, with a fair bit to prove, but you can be sure that whenever a win or loss comes through, the timeline is certainly going to be on fire over at the Twitter sphere. 2-1 over NRG. Game 1 on Fracture was 13-10 in the end. Sentinels fell short on this front. Haven 13-11, very close for the fair. This is pretty ridiculous. Sentinels that pissed around, of course, very important down the line. They just about got over the line here. TenZ had a great map. So does ShahZaM. And after a ridiculous 11-1 first round half here on binds, NRG really started to make the comeback happen. They just closed that around 22-13-9, but it's certainly too close for comfort, I think, for the Sentinels guys in this one. And on the whole here, you've got TenZ 66 in 47 for a plus 19 performance, right? And Som was great on the other side as well. They had some great moments here. I'm really definitely looking forward to seeing NRG in action more, because a very promising team, I thought. It definitely did take some magic from TenZ to get them over the line in this series, most certainly. The final series of the day, at least in the North American side, was the Guard versus LG. And another very interesting one, right? Because the Guard, in theory, they should be a very good team right now. They certainly were in this series. LG, we know, okay, they're going to be solid, but this game, it was so difficult for them to even win around. It's pretty rare, frankly, them on Haven at 10 rounds in a row on the offense are going to be won. Now, in fairness to B-Dog, he makes a great clutch right here with the knives, and then the operator initially, nice little flick on the first, gets the knives out because he thinks, okay, I've got to try something here. We're down 10-0. We've got to make something happen. But the Guard make it happen round 1 regardless, or in the game 1 anyway here to close out the Haven. And, game 2 as well was pretty ridiculous. But honestly, the talent on the Guard is just so exciting to watch. This particular clip actually on the game 2, this is when they're actually down 8-3 and then 8-4 at this point to LG on Fracture. But look at this, right? So Trent wins the round by doing nothing at all, by hiding in the corner and they can't plant, and then just gets the most ridiculous 3K spray with the Vandal. I've never seen anyone really control the Vandal quite as well as this guy does. The first 2 kills are nice. The third kill is just outrageous, because the spray is so difficult to control. Does this guy know something the rest of us don't about how to spray control the Vandal? I could watch this all day. The first 2 kills, okay, very nice. The third one, the continuation spray for the third, is just ridiculous. And, fair play. That, of course, is pretty good for the economy on their side as well. And they end up taking the game 2-0, partly as a result of that one. Net, Valin, Trent, Sire Player, Jonah, all positive. What a setup from these guys. The game one obviously very dominant, 13-1, but the only round they won was that kind of B-Dog clutch. Fracture goes all the way to overtime, but 15-13 in the end. So yeah, what a performance from the guards. Very exciting stuff. And then these are the games coming up today. So it finishes off here on Sunday. In Europe, it's Na'Vi versus London, BBL versus Guild, and in North America, it's Optic versus Rise, and then cNed versus Evil Geniuses. Of course, Optic now, formerly Envy, they're playing Rise. Cracking matchup right here, and then cNed, we'll see if they can do a similar job that the Guard did over on their counterparts, Luminosity and Evil Geniuses. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit in a like button. Tell us the YouTube gods it's a good video. I was like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
It's not gonna go down. It's not gonna go down. Time is over.
Oh, it's Trent. Oh my Trent.
Nice
No.
shots.
Not like this to keep him alive for the last second. We were both in utter confusion. The Red Bull clutch from Trent. I was thinking.
Some guessing.
Kind of weird.
Still BDA here.
It's like a info denial wall.
Is used in response now. That's dapr just making sure that they can't quite peek through, but a drone.
Oh, it hit that guy
at the same time.
Oh my
That's
god.
gonna signal it. Definitely gonna be the B here coming.
Oh shit! What? Dude, how is he so good?
Spends the rest of them, but with the open hand.
Oh my god,
is elite.
bruh.
Not gonna get
What?
to the end of the day, but at least